Thank you so much for joining me. I would like to talk about forgiveness today. Forgiveness can be such a very difficult thing when we have been deeply wronged, deeply wounded, and sometimes in a permanent, life-altering way. Forgiveness is first a gift to ourselves. We already survived whatever the incident was that requires forgiveness. We have already endured that, but we prolong our suffering by holding pain and hurt and malice inside of ourselves. It is not easy to let that go. We cannot just will it to be gone. Oftentimes it is very valid for us to carry anger and pain when we have been so deeply hurt. I would just like to share a practice today that you might find helpful. The first step of the practice is to find something that grounds us and connects us into this present moment, thoroughly unrelated to whatever happened in the past that requires our forgiveness. What helps you feel present and anchored will be unique to you. Some suggestions of places to look are to put your attention onto your breath, onto your physical body. You may wish to repeat a phrase such as, "I am safe." You may wish to look around you. Notice your surroundings in the present moment so that we can be sure we are here and we are not there. Let's spend just a couple moments anchoring ourselves into the present. I am going to focus on my breathing. You may experiment and find what works best for you. I am here. I am safe and I am right here. The forgiveness practice is to not intentionally put your mind back there, remind yourself of what it was that happened. But whenever those thoughts naturally come to mind, and I believe since we are doing this practice now, there is a high chance that something is in your mind right now, so we can take this opportunity to practice, but I am not asking you to intentionally recall those memories and that time in your life when you are not otherwise already engaged thinking that. So, when the thoughts naturally come to mind, think of the person or the group of people who wronged you. And this is a very difficult thing to do. I would like you to say internally to yourself, I send you love. I know that is not an easy thing to do, but I am asking you to say those words and then bring yourself back to the present moment, the way that we anchored ourselves. We are here, we are not there. When you say those words, I send you love, I do not want you to go into the stories, to replay what happened, to go through your list of why you have been wronged. I trust that you have been wronged, and your hurt is very valid, and you don't need to justify that to me or yourself or anyone else. You have been hurt. So I don't want you to go into the story replaying what happened. And I also don't want you to go in depth thinking of what does it mean to send them love. I don't want you to go in and find the part of yourself that loves them. I don't want you to think about what it means to send them love. I don't want you to visualize your heart opening up and sending them love. That is a very wonderful practice for someone else in your life, not for the person or people who wronged you this much. You simply say to yourself, I send you love, and then you come back to the present moment. And you do this every time those thoughts arise for you. You simply say to those thoughts, I am sending you love, and then you come right back to the present moment and do your best to not get caught up in those thoughts. Doing this practice does not mean that you need to tell this person in real life that you love them, that you forgive them. It does not mean that you are not allowed to have all of the boundaries and space and distance that you want. It does not mean that you need to let them into your life if that's not the path you're on. It also does not mean you need to tell anyone else, I've decided to send this person love, I'm forgiving this person. Of course, if you have a support group and you wish to share that, of course, by all means. But this is a practice for you, and you do not need to share it with anyone else. You do not need to tell the person you're sending them love. You do not need to tell any of your friends that you are sending them love. And you don't even need to decide what it means inside yourself to send them love. This is a practice that changes over time. And in my experience, initially, it is so difficult to say those words, even to myself, even knowing I will never tell anyone else. It is so hard within myself because I feel that I have been deeply wronged. And if I send love to this person, it is in some way saying, that's okay, or I'm not hurt anymore. And those things are definitely not true for me. But I stuck with this practice, and what happened over time is that my own jagged edges inside of my own heart began to soften. I have not let go of any of the boundaries that I have. What has shifted is wholly inside of me. It is not for the other person who wronged me, and it is not for those around me to performatively say, oh, I have given them forgiveness. It's not for anyone else. It is just for me. And as a result, over time, I feel more free. I have still been wronged. That will never change. It is valid that I feel hurt. That is very natural from what has happened. But I am more free. And I wish very deeply for you to be more free as well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy.